Over the last 6 months, we've been running the Miller CINX9 system on real commercial shoots, and this review is based on how it actually performed under pressure. We've used it on productions for Tensai Tuning, one of Dubai's leading car tuning companies, and Dubai Polo and Equestrian Club, where demands were very different but equally revealing. So this isn't a spec sheet readout, this is a practical review of how the CINX9 performs when you're moving fast and need the tripod to do its job without slowing the shoot down. The setup we've been using includes the CINX9 fluid head, HD MB 2-stage carbon fiber legs, mid-level spreader, HD metal feet, and Miller's smart case. The CINX9 also comes with the Mitchell base or 150mm bowl, giving you the versatility to choose the exact setup your production may require. The head supports payloads from 4.5 all the way up to 40 kilos at 125mm center of gravity, so it's clearly aimed at serious camera builds. Firstly, the case is worth mentioning because I use Pelicans a lot and I'm not a fan of soft bags when kit is being stacked in cars, vans, or moved quickly between locations. Your tripod system is one of the most valuable and important pieces of support gear on set, so I want it protected properly so it will last. Miller's smart case feels much closer to a hard case mindset, rigid resin construction, wheeled, side opening and sturdy latches, and built for real transport rather than careful studio storage. What I like most about this is the speed. The system goes from packed to ready quite quickly. You're not fighting a tight bag, awkward zips, or badly arranged components while the crew and client are waiting. The panhandles can stay mounted in the case, which helps you if you jump in between setups, and the side-loaded dovetail platform gives you 150mm of travel. So balancing different builds or making quick lens change adjustments is very straightforward. The legs themselves are carbon fiber, a range of 520mm to 1615mm. So despite this being a serious support system, it's still manageable to move around on the set. On the polo shoot in particular, that really mattered. It's a substantial tripod, but with one person carrying the camera and one person carrying the sticks, it stayed practical all day long. This is where the CINX9 really proved itself. At Tensai Tuning, we were using it in 2 different ways. First, for interviews, where you just want a solid planted support system that lets you work quickly and trust the frame. And second, for top speed tracking work on the Burano build. This was where I was expecting, if there was any weakness, to show up immediately. At the Polo, the demands were different again. Long lens, horse, polo and horse jumping coverage, fast movement, unpredictable direction changes, pans and tilts together, and moments where you need to react quickly, move the camera quickly, and hopefully the frame stays smooth and controlled. This is where a proper head matters. The 7 selectable drag positions gives you a meaningful amount of control over how the head feels, rather than forcing you to adapt your operating style to the gear. And with 16 positions of counterbalance, it's much easier to get the rig sitting where it should, especially when you're moving between different payloads. On both these shoots, we were working with really long lenses, up to 600mm, and that's where support systems get exposed quite quickly. On long lens tracking, you can notice almost any imperfection on a tripod head. Whether there were cars at speed or horses in motion, I felt completely comfortable trusting this head. Any shot that wasn't usable was down to me, not the equipment. Smooth starts, clean stops, and solid resistance through the move, that's the big difference. What I like about this system is that it doesn't just feel strong, it feels usable and not alien to smaller setups that I'm used to. Moving to this doesn't feel ridiculous or oversized, it just gives you more confidence, more stability when running a heavier camera. For the Tensai shoot, when it came to the interviews, it just meant that I got a stable platform for my heavy camera rig to sit on, not worrying about it if I'm lighting or running around on set. Not to mention that with the top speed runs, it really gave me that smooth panning motion to focus on my actual composition. For the Polo, very similar, the head was put under a lot of pressure with regards to the pan and tilts, so any small vibrations of poor track control would ruin the shot. So the real value in the Miller CINX9 is this: when the shot matters and the build is serious, this really does give you confidence. Not just in the weight capacity on paper, but in the way it behaves on set. During setup, during operating, and during the kind of real production days where support gear has to keep up. If you're ever running a heavier cinema build and need stable, repeatable, professional movement, the CINX9 absolutely delivers.